And we are live. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Before we get started, we're going to wait at least for a couple more people to get in. Just a little bit, not too long, but we will. You know. Yeah. Mm. Yep, yep, yep. How are you doing? How are you doing? Any questions? Don't hesitate to comment down below. Uh, and we're going to get there. All right. Well, okay. Not gonna wait too much longer, But what I do want to talk to you guys about is Night Reaper Origins. For those who, if you haven't seen yet, excuse me, if you haven't seen yet, we do have another character drop on the channel. Is Maria Brooks, so definitely be on the lookout for that. Uh, watch the video, and you'll see exactly who Maria Brooks is, how she's related to Night Reaper, um, how she is involved with Michael Brooks, you know, so that way you all can understand exactly how these characters operate, who they are, what their backgrounds is, and what is to come later on that makes sense for these characters and how you feel like they're going to fit in into the future of Phenom comics in general, not just Night Reaper itself, but also later on down the line. Um, and it's honestly an exciting thing to actually look forward to see how these characters integrate with each other, especially for those on a possible chance, of being outside of Night Reaper as a whole. You know what I mean? So that's actually something real good. But I do want to talk about a few things today with you guys. I don't expect the live to go too long. Got things to do. You know what I mean. But at the end of the day, man, I'm excited. I want to get this whole thing going. I want you guys to understand where I'm coming from, and again, see how Night River is going to be. And everything that's involved with Night Reaper Origins itself. And one of the questions is, what is the role of Cleveland, and why Cleveland, Ohio, did I decide to set the base, and why I choose it, and how does it shape the story for Night Reaper Origins. Um, if we're being honest, when we discussing, why I chose Cleveland, I feel like, you get your typical, your heroes for the most part, they are all in big cities. You know what I mean? They're all in big cities, you know, and the the biggest thing is understanding is that, excuse me, one thing about Cleveland is, or why I chose, is not only is because I'm from here, because I am from here, I'm from Cleveland, This is my city. You know what I mean? All right. So this is my city, and I feel like that actually, it's a good thing to, to make make heroes, bring them somewhere else that a lot of folks aren't accustomed to. Like again, prime example, you got a lot of heroes that's basically based in New York or in LA. You know, I feel like trying something new, trying something different, making your heroes, bringing them somewhere else. And obviously, the characters are based, you know, going forward, will be in different areas, not just the city itself, but we also have our fictional cities as well. So that way you guys can, get to know and understand, where these characters are based and anything. So if anybody have anything for debate, you know, I feel like that'd actually be something cool to do. But to the point of as for why I chose Cleveland, Ohio, is the history and the culture of Cleveland. And, and honestly, Cleveland does have like a violent history, give or take. You know what I mean? Let's be honest. Obviously, not too long ago, was the fourth most dangerous city in the country. Do you hear me? The fourth most dangerous city in the country. That's one thing to always talk about. For those who also don't know about certain things about Cleveland, we got like the first 48. If you ever seen that show, and if you've never seen that show, I advise you to see it. For those who know of Cleveland and or the show of the first 48, it's been a couple of times where Cleveland has been on the first 48. You know, and honestly, you got your ties to a lot of you know crime historically and things of that nature. So I felt like, and it's good for crime. It's good for a crime cleanup setting. You know what I mean? It's good for a crime cleanup setting, and I feel like that actually makes sense to choose Cleveland. Again, sometimes you need your heroes, man. You need your heroes. You want your heroes, and yeah. So I decided to, you know, choose that, you know, and that's just plain and simple on to that regard. Um, but also I feel like there is a importance of real world locations. You know, if you actually if you've never you watch certain animes and things like that, if you watch certain animes or any type of movies, any you know cartoons and anything like that, any type of entertainment, and you realize that in a lot of these shows and movies, they actually have a lot of illustration of a lot of real landmarks. From depending on the cities, like if in Tokyo, Japan, and you know Beijing, China, and things like that. Like cities, and and not just that, but again, you have your landmarks again where certain places, certain stores, or parks, and certain buildings and everything that have historical fashion. That's an historical fashion that has a history, and some people will put that in the anime or the shows and things like that. Then I feel like it's important for real world locations, because if I'm putting certain cities or certain landmarks, certain buildings, parks, or anything like that of entertainment or culture, and if it's in my book, if it's in the book, it'll be cool to believe that for anyone who was to read Night Reaper Origins to say I was there. The what this is where I'm from. This particular place is in the book, and you see it in illustration, and you see how it is. You right there like, wow, that's cool. And I feel like sometimes you have to put historical fashion on there. So yeah, that's the importance of it is because of the history. It presents a certain background that that helps allow the the books, the shows, anything like that of that nature go so well. And honestly, I just feel like it's cool. I feel like why not? You know what I mean? Um, like I have a couple of fictional places. Uh, like one is called Club Shots. It's a nightclub. It's a nightclub um that is in Night Reaper. Uh, so that's one thing to understand as well, like that it is in Night Reaper, and Club Shots is going to be one of the pinnacles of you have that like again you got your sanctum sanctorums, and you got your um shoot. This honestly a lot of places. The Daily Planet, and things like that. You just, of course, you got your certain landmarks. But like I said, but this particular landmark is from Cleveland, Ohio. It's fictional, obviously, but it's a nightclub in Cleveland, Ohio. That's based in Cleveland, Ohio, uh, close to downtown Cleveland, based in his own area, his own spot. So that is actually something very good to have. And if anyone here is watching from Cleveland, you let me know what is your favorite place in Cleveland. If you are from Cleveland, what is your favorite place here from Cleveland that you know you can recommend or just speak on to be like, you know what, yeah, this is my spot. This is where I'm from. And I feel like that's something very good to get into. You know, to talk about. Like, what's your favorite place here in Cleveland if you're from here? You know, my particular place, for me, I don't go nowhere. But no, but no, honestly, man, I actually, for me, I go to the movies. You know, my spot, the silver spot. That's my spot. I'll go there anywhere that has, good rhythm. Yeah, that has, a calm place to be that's like, what, I can go here and you don't expect too much craziness and nothing like that. And it's a it has decent good people, where you feel like, okay, I can actually go here, enjoy myself and not really, you know, worry too much. You know what I mean? I feel like that that really makes a difference in whether or not how you are about going to particular places and things of that nature. I think it only makes sense to be like that. Why not, right? You know, but I would like to get to a second point for you guys as well, and it's building a comic universe is challenges and triumphs. Um, in the process of weaving, interconnecting, like interconnected characters like Detective Gamble, Maria, Michael, and HK and other characters. Um, it it's a great thing to do it this way because again, every character have their roles. There's some characters have their own arcs, that allows them to which is the importance of the backstories of these characters that I have been dropping within the last couple, you know what I'm saying, just for a couple of weeks now and everything, and there's still more to come. But how they're interconnected is by the roles they play, who they are, and making them be someone that, these characters that can be pushed. Like, don't get me wrong, we have certain characters, for those who are good, like that loves entertainment, that watch movies, that watch anime, cartoons, whatever your preference. When it's all said and done, you have a thing to look at, some characters that are good for pushing forward further into the comics, that could possibly have a spot that you can see somewhere else in the universe, in these shows or in movies or anything like that, and be right there like, you know what, this character can, it's worth it. This character can be pushed to be a main character. This character can be pushed to be, uh, you know, to have their own show, their own game, movie, anything like that. And you got some characters that's honestly just good with groups. If you really want to be honest, if we're being honest about it, you got some characters that's good with groups. Some characters are great by themselves, but that comes down to great character development. And once you have great character development, you can have a great story. What's going on, Chuck P, man? How you doing, man? Welcome to the live, brother. Hope you're doing okay. So, but yeah, just trying to get anything, you know. You said what you missed, man. I particularly say, a few things, man, a couple things. We talking about the culture. As for why I made the setting of Cleveland, why I kept Cleveland as the main setting for Phenom, why Night Reaper. Why is Cleveland, Ohio set in Night Reaper? And why did I choose this particular city to be in Night Reaper Origins? And like I said, history, culture, history of, again, crime, the attention that Cleveland has gotten, over the years, that makes Cleveland what it is. Again, we go and we talk about First 48. Again, going back to being considered one of the fourth most dangerous city in the country of all of 50 states of the United States of America. You know, so there you go, man. If anything, you know what I'm saying? But pretty much you got that. But yeah, that's the other thing about maintaining and integrating characters like Detective Gamble, Maria, Mike, and other characters going forward, is how you develop the character is how they're going to you know, come in and do what you can. That's simple as that. Simple as that. Thank you, brother. Um, but yeah, just integrating them. Again, character development is important. It makes great stories. And you pick who your favorite character is. You pick who you can relate to. You be like, damn, I like this character. I like their backstory, and there's a reason. And you really be right there, like, yo, I understand this character's backstory. I know who they are. So understanding how they are in this particular story is where you get the understanding, like, okay, I understand why this character did that. Man, it's crazy because of such and such and this and that, which is true. I mean, let's be honest. Like, you look at if you ever watch the show Supernatural and you see the difference in characters like Dean and Sam Winchester. Now, when it came down to murking some monsters, you knew for a fact that if you needed a monster just dealt with, any type of thing, demonic or anything like that, Dean to do it for you. And that's just being 100. That, you know what I'm saying? Dean Winchester will get the job done. If you actually need monsters destroyed, killed, anything like that, Dean Winchester will get the job done. That's where great character development comes into place. When you got a good story, you got to have some characters that you understand their backgrounds, you understand their grit, you understand exactly why they are who they are and how you can push it. And that's just a fact on that. You know what I mean? So, and the challenges of maintaining consistency while expanding the Phenom Comics universe is the passion, man. You pay attention. You pay attention. You realize what you want in your books. You realize what you want out of your characters, out of your universe. When you're building, um, a universe for storytelling, you want to be able to be first of all, always be original. You know, there's nothing wrong with taking ideas from others because that's how we learn, that's how we go forward. I mean, let's be honest. You go into an aisle of bread. The thing is, you look at all bread and you look at it like, okay, this is all bread, but they all have different flavors. They all have different branding going on. They're all not the same. You can take an idea from one, either you take the weaknesses or you take the strengths, and you make it your own, where you can say, I got something and I'm going to push it forward. And that's just what it is, you know? And that's just a fact. But yeah, but maintaining consistency while it's just being motivated, again, passionate, loving what you do is what really matters more than anything. And again, just figuring out different ideas and be like, you know what, I want to add this, I want to do this. That's how that's supposed to be. You know what I mean? And to another point, um, I have characters that I do plan on dropping again. So I'm going to actually talk about these particular characters for you guys, until these characters are dropped. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, Chuck? Most definitely, man. But yeah, just I want you guys to understand these characters. You know, understand like how certain side characters, you know, add layers to the main story. Well, understanding where you have your side characters, the importance of side characters is, how they add layers to your main story is you got your comic, your comedic relief, and things. You got characters also that causes chain reactions. If you know what I mean. What I mean by chain reactions is what sets up the stage for certain particular things in stories. What's their role? What did they do to set the stage? How can they set the stage? What makes them good that can make the story great? And we also, and I have a couple stories. Obviously, I have a couple characters that lay that foundation that starts Night Reaper off. And again, for those who have missed my last live when we talked about Night Reaper before, you have some dark parts into the story. So if you're not into gritty, dark, you know, violent, storytelling, then it wouldn't be for you. But it can be for you because it's a great story. When you develop great characters, it happens. So yeah, certain layers of characters, man, can certain characters can set a foundation 100% that makes it good to be like where this is going to go now. You know, and hey, hey, I understand that 100%, brother. I got you. I got you, Chuck. I got you, bro. You know, and also I want to explain how certain characters may cross paths in future storylines. Um, well, going back to what I said as for consistency and how we've interconnecting characters stay in place. If you have characters that are good, again, if they have great character development, and don't get me wrong, if you have an idea for a character that's not that strong, you can make it continue to make that character strong. You can. You be like, okay, I didn't do this character justice in this reading, or this particular episode or a particular show, season, whatever the case may be. You know, it's like I'm gonna have to use a anime reference. Uh Dragon Ball Z. Big Dragon Ball Z fan growing up. And when we talk about certain characters and how certain characters may cross paths in the future, we have to think about, like, if you know who I'm talking about, Gohan, for prime example. You know, for those who don't know, obviously Gohan is the son of Goku. If you don't know what Dragon Ball Z is, if you're joining this channel, my thing is you should know what Dragon Ball Z is. I'm just gonna tell you straight up. I mean, that's just honest. But just Gohan was strong, and where you thought even after the Cell Saga, he was a beast. In the Cell Saga, Gohan was a beast, especially after he beat Cell, right? After all of that, even once Gohan became an adult, they completely just decimated Gohan and made him weak. He just became a scholar. Nothing's particularly wrong with that, but he didn't show any type of develop. They kept revolving around Goku and Vegeta. Let's keep it 100. Gohan, Trunks, and all them other characters should have gotten stronger. But you get what I mean, where I say character development. If you stay just you got this character that's strong or weak, you know, yeah, they did. They humanized them big time. You know what I mean? And it's like, come on, man, yo, y'all gotta keep this brother going, because for those who watched Dragon Ball Z at a young age and stuff, man, you thought Gohan was gonna take the seat of Goku and Vegeta and be stronger than both of them. You know what I mean? Like just the sons in general. You know what I mean? But they didn't do it that way. And now, when they dwarfed him, then all of a sudden now they got Dragon Ball Super. Now they decided to basically redeem Gohan's character and making him strong as hell at this point, where now he's not just intelligent as a scholar anymore. He's actually doing something where he's making, he's powerful, he's whooping ass, things like that. You know what I'm saying? But the point is, you got those type of characters that you can, push past. And if you got good development, with certain characters, even if they're weak for the moment, but you can find particular pieces and paths for them to go. Especially once you start different books and you start writing more and you get into certain characters, you be like, you know what? I got a good character that I had before. I want to put them in here. I can write them better this time. I can do more with them, and they'll have good chemistry with certain particular characters in the future. It only makes sense. That's what makes great storytelling, man. It's character development, and that's exactly how it's going to be. You know what I mean? So I want to get to another point for you guys. We're going to speak on the psychology of heroes and villains in Phenom Comics. You know, and I want to dive into the motivations and psychological makeup of key characters, mainly Mike Brooks, Night Reaper himself. So, Night Reaper, Mike Brooks, obviously, again, for those who have not read, if you've watched his backstory on my channel, you would understand that Michael Brooks started out as a kid, again, in the inner city, young, dealing with a lot of setback hardships and getting pulled into the streets because you're trying to find a way, but you don't have a purpose. You don't have an actual, you don't see a tunnel forward. You don't see a light going forward for you. So you just trying to live life the best way that you can, but you also trying to maintain your goodness, but Where you live is making you into this particular person that you have to survive, and you have to do what it takes to survive. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys will agree that you do what you have to you do to survive, and also the particular area that you stay in, from where you're from, can be a big influence on you. So the psychology for Michael Brooks is, it's not so difficult to understand, just knowing that he's a man who believes in protecting his family. He believes in he believes in justice. You know, uh, he believes in, at the end of the day, you feel obligated, that you're like, you feel obligated, and you'll want to, about him is, I have to protect my family by any means necessary. I feel like that's any man. You want to be sure that your family is protected. You want to be sure that you can make sure your family can walk the streets. Anybody can walk the streets that night without having to worry about their families dealing with any hardship or anything bad happening to them. They can make it home safe. Mike's psychology is, if I can't protect my family, I'm worthless. That's his whole thing. Again, as a man, you are a protector. You want to protect those you love and care about. You know what I mean? And due to the fact that he wasn't there to protect his mother, due to the HK, due to the Heartless Killers, he wasn't there to protect his mother. Already, kind of, it'll mess you up. It messed him up already, to not be able to protect his mother when the gang attacked their family home. So there's the Brooks family tragedy there, you know. And obviously, that wasn't it. For those who also have heard, obviously, due to what happened to Maria, that is what evidently set the stage for Night Reaper himself, as a man who snapped because he felt that the justice system was failing, and he took it upon himself, and he said, damn this, I'm tired, I'm tired, I'm tired. I'm going to use what I can to protect my family so this won't happen again. And when it happened to his mom, it didn't happen to Maria, he snapped. And at this point, it made him take his chance, and, his vengeance out on the criminals in Cleveland, Ohio. And that's what ultimately set him up to be called the Reaper of Souls. Again, if you didn't, you need to watch that backstory. You need to watch my last video with Mike Brooks so you can understand exactly who he is, how he started out, you know. And again, that's where his psychological mindset comes from. If I can't protect my family, he'll snap. The loss of anybody else in his family, it'll break him, you know. So, but for him, he has to stay strong. He's a very strong-willed character. Understand? He's very masculine. You know, he has compassion. You know, he loves his family. You know, so again, you'll do whatever it takes to protect your family. Yeah, I honestly, and you're right, Chuck, man. Just it's a lot going on with his story. Again, that's why I know you guys will actually love the story itself. Um, because it's a lot of deep connections, and it can particularly be related to some degree with a lot of you as well. Again, just wanting to be the one that has that passion and be like, I have that in me to want to protect those I love and care about. And at the same time, I'm doing what I'm doing because I do not want the same thing to happen to anyone else, to experience the type of losses that I've experienced, especially due You know, honestly, Memento comics, my mental comics. Welcome. Uh, I actually have some characters, you know, that's actually shown in the backstories on my channel. You can actually look them up. You can look at them and you can see some of the characters that is involved that have been created so far, their concept arts, you know, and again their backstories as well. That's going with those particular characters. But thank you for subscribing and joining the channel. You know, and again, just I want to be able to, you know, show these characters to be something great and understanding and relatable, you know, because a lot of them they do have dark paths as well, you know, going into the future, you know. So I also want to explore how tragedy and trauma shape their actions. Again, well, pretty much I guess touched on that, you know, but their tragedy and trauma did set the stage due to the deaths of the of his mother and then the tragedy with his wife. Um, Understanding that, you know, if you listen to the backstory on my channel, Michael Brooks went into to Awan Madal Sadida. He was trained by the king and the leader of Awan Madal Sadida. And for those who don't know again what Awan Madal Sadida means, it's Zosia in Latin for the Black Claw. That's the particular group I've chosen, and what also inspired me to create this group was the League of Shadows from DC, and also looking at Black Panther as an inspiration as well, and looking at the Dora Milaje and his, you know, his tribe. So I took both concepts. I took both League of Shadows from DC Batman, excuse me, and Black Panther, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna make my own thing, but I'm gonna take the inspiration and I'll put them together, and that's what I did. So you have Awama Dal Sadida, the Black Claw, who helped train Mike to be a protector. You know, it's an ancient order of warriors, again, African warriors. That is very historical, to where it taught Mike ninjutsu, patience of the mind, you know, strong willed, rigorous training that he received from Leon himself. Uh, and after, again, he ended up joining the Black Flag Special Forces, where he became captain. Due to his skills and his marksmanship, his tracking skills, his, you know, his experience, and Mike being Mike. That's just being what it is, you know. And his military training definitely came in handy. Again, he actually have obviously skills in jitsu. You know, he's good at. Again, I mentioned that he is trained in 13 martial arts. Obviously, you know, makes him a lethal character. You know, uh, and I want to also get into the fact of how the criminals of Phenom Comics also, I want to discuss how they justify their actions. And let's be honest. I mean, you can't really can evil really justify their actions? I mean, let's be honest. Can evil really justify their actions? I mean, again, me being an individual who grew up watching particular characters, watching particular movies and stuff like that. Another thing, like about me, my favorite villain of all time is the Joker. I love the Joker. He crazy as hell. He's psychotic as hell. I'm just gonna keep it 100. Like he is. Like, but he's a good character. And one thing they said is about the Joker. is you don't need a particular reason. Some individuals just want to watch the world burn. Simple as that. Simple as that. But I can honestly say for characters like Silverback, that the heartless killers, you know, their actions going forward, it's just, I want power. I want to continue to put fear in those who are weak, that, don't want to step up, those who cannot defend themselves. When you have the heartless killers roaming your streets and they feel like they can't be touched, reasons for it is because either the, they keeping things on hush. And again, mind you, the heartless killers don't answer to themselves. They have bosses. They have those that are above them that call the shots, got police officers paid off, people to turn their head for any criminal activity that they're doing. That's what make HK who they are. And they do whatever they want to anyone without remorse, with ruthless aggression. Excuse me, with ruthless aggression, you know, and that's and whoever steps up to them will get knocked down, and that's what the heartless killers are. And when you have characters like uh a silverback, that I've created, that I will be giving you guys a backstory, a character breakdown, and a visual on him, very soon. Giving a visual on him very soon, a backstory on Silverback very soon. Silverback is the one who runs Club Shots. Silverback is the muscle. He's an enforcer, but he's a boss. So anything that needs to be made, any moves that need to be made, or dealt with business wise, when it come down to the heartless killers, he the one who was making that decision. But I want you all to understand and listen here. Silverback has a boss. Silverback doesn't make all these moves on his own. Understand, Silverback is a brute. He is someone who can crush your head with both his bare hands with ease. He's that much of a brute. He's strong. And again, that's why I can't wait to give y'all the backstory of Silverback pretty soon. Because y'all go see exactly who he is. Y'all go understand his backstory and realize that this guy is no joke. And again, when you are in creation, always protect yourself. You know, that's why with me, I was happy. Once I was able to, you know, document my works, my projects, my characters, make them legal, protecting yourself. It's the best thing for it, because a lot of people can't do what you do. So you know what they do? They try to copy. you know, but yeah, man, just I mean, I guess it can be, it's okay to a degree, but I mean, hey, but yeah, always protect yourself, and whatever IPs that you decide to create, whatever you decide to make, always protect yourself. But back to my point, when you have characters that does things, again, you thinking about characters like Silverback, the HK. Again, it's about power, it's about control, it's about setting fear. Putting fear into families. This is why, going back before, when I said what motivated me and inspired me to create the Heartless Killers, what inspired me to create HK was looking around my neighborhood from where I'm from. Uh, Again, I grew up in a time, which I'm pretty sure a lot of you can agree, those who are watching can agree. Families used to be outside. Families used to sit on their porches. The elders used to sit on their porches. Kids playing outside. You know, the elders talking, chatting, drinking, smoking, whatever they're doing listening to good music, old school music from their times and whatnot. And everyone enjoyed themselves. And sometimes they even enjoyed themselves all the way during the nighttime. You didn't have to worry about anyone running up on your porch, robbing you, or anything like that, or whatever. But again, you know, yeah, you know what I mean? I remember those days vividly as well. And it's like, it's crazy. You don't have those times anymore. You don't. And the reason behind that is because fear, fear. Yeah, you can send kids to the store with no worries. You can't do that. My grandmother used to send me to the store. I was about 6, 7 years old. I stayed around the corner. The store was literally around the corner from where I stayed. And my grandmother would send me to the store for it. My grandmother was barely able to walk, at the time. But so if I was able to go to the store for it because it was around the corner. Nowadays, you can barely do that because of worry, because of fear. You don't know what's going to happen. And even if you don't think something is going to happen, it's still the thought of what if. You know what I mean? And so that's what inspired me to make HK, because you got people out here that just do not care and they thrive off the fear and turmoil of others. And that's just how they build themselves. You know, I was. So because for one, my grandmother was cool with the store clerk. Thank you. So you can say what you want, but and I mean, come on, it wasn't like I was picking up anything illegal. You know what I mean? For my age and nothing like that. My grandmother sent me to the store for some dang on Lay's chips or something like that. So you don't know that, okay? So you can't judge because you don't know. But at the same time, look, hey, my grandmother was a G, man. That's a fact. You know what I mean? But I do want to, again, we gonna go into this as so what's the debate is this? Are villains born evil or do their circumstances shape their actions? That's what I want to ask you guys. Are villains born evil or again, do their circumstances shape their actions? That's the debate. You know, that's the debate. You know what I'm saying? Are villains justified in what they do? What makes them who they are? You know, again, they say there's a difference between a hero and a villain. A hero is going to make sure that nothing else happened to anyone else that has happened to them. And a villain is going to take their emotions out, their traumas out on those who, that has been done to them. They're going to do to them what has been done to them. That's just what it is. That's what the difference between a villain and a hero is. I'm going to protect those from my traumas, and I'm going to put an attack with my traumas onto other people, put my traumas onto other people. And that's the difference there when it comes down to between villains and heroes. So I know you said both. Uh, you say you think both, Chuck. I'm gonna tell you like this. Um, going back to what I just mentioned about the Joker, from watching, Batman and things like that, man. One thing about them that has been said was this: that some men want to watch the world burn. They don't want to be bought. You can't bribe them. You can't, what I'm saying? You can't give them anything in particular. It does not matter what it is. Some people just do not give a damn. Some men just want to watch the world burn. And then so there's that evil. And then you have their circumstances that shape their actions. You know what I mean? You could be, I mean, let's be honest, man. We have people that we've grew up with or that we know to this day that has been through a lot of trauma, a lot of tragedy, hardships, and things of that nature. And their minds are so gone sometimes where they, they it makes them evil. You know what I mean? Yeah, you got the characters like the Sandman. You know what I'm saying? He Sandman's whole motivations was, I'm broke. My daughter is sick. My daughter is sick. My daughter is dying. I have to do what I need to do. Again, going back to being a man who wants to protect his family and do what's best for them. He went out to rob people, things like that, because he needed the money to protect his family. You know, yeah, everyone, yeah, that's true. Everyone is one bad day away from being evil, being a villain. And that's where it boils down to. Sometimes sometimes your circumstances, it hurts. Sometimes your circumstances, you can't help but be evil, or do bad things. Sometimes you're not even particularly evil. It's just what makes you a villain is your circumstances. If you're broke, you can't get a job because you don't have the right look, or you don't have the right education, uh, the right upbringing, or whatever, or what have you. You do things to survive. And obviously, when you do certain things that obviously normal people don't agree with, or something that's bad and things like that, doesn't necessarily make you evil, or you just did a bad thing because you had no choice and you need to survive. That's simple as that. You know, and that's the biggest thing more than anything, where I feel like what separates evil from those who have, you know, their actions, through circumstances, between the villains. It's just some people are born evil on some Michael Myers type stuff, or again, some people have no choice but to do bad things because of their particular circumstance, like the Sandman. There you go. And that's just and that's just a fact. So another debate I want to ask you guys is Michael just another vigilante, or is he a self-proclaimed good guy on the wrong side of a psychotic break? For those who for those who know about, again, Night Reaper, know about Michael Brooks, and again, you listen to his backstory on the last, if you listen to the last video of Mike Brooks' backstory, you got to ask yourself, is he just another vigilante, or just a self-proclaimed good guy on the wrong side of a psychotic break? Now, you like you like door number two. Hey, hell, you know what? That I'm glad that you said that, Chuck, because honestly, man, it. You know what, man? You know what? I'm gonna look at it this way. I'm gonna look at it this way. Uh, the Punisher, Batman. Batman is one of my favorite characters, but let's be honest. Even though he's cool, calm, and collected, I may take a little bit of heat for talking about Batman, but Batman's a little. He lost a little his screws too. After the, I mean, after the deaths, he witnessed his parents, his mother and father, getting shot in front of him. You know what I mean? He witnessed his parents get murdered in front of him as a kid. And obviously, what gave him the drive to be Batman was that trauma, that issue that set the stage for who he is, because he wanted to get back at those who, yeah, you know. So yeah, I think if we really, that's the reason for seeking justice. Yeah, that's what Chunky G. You're right. You right, Chunky G. Man, that's a hell of a name. I'm not gonna lie to you, but hey, hey, hey. But yeah, just think every vigilante, you know, uh, is on the wrong side of a psychotic break, and honestly, and that's true. Again, it's the whole I'm tired, I'm messed up, and again, nothing is being done. Uh, if you really want, okay, so if we really want to go down a strong path and understanding exactly what we mean about whole psychotic break or the vigilante side, for those who've seen the movie Law Abiding Citizen, that should be the perfect example right there of a guy who, what I mean, who had a psychotic break, that you look at it having a psychotic break, and you or for seeking justice. His family was, you, but you get what I mean. You get what I mean though. Law-abiding citizen is a perfect example of a man. I mean, I guess you could say vigilante, but also on the that was on a psychotic break simply because he did not get the justice. You know, what I'm saying, that he did not get the justice from the justice system. So he took it upon himself to get justice. His family was murdered. You know, his family was murdered. And when they went to court to get the people arrested, locked up, and things like that, they damn near they just dismissed the case and just said whatever. So you know what I'm saying? I mean, again, this is what I mean for a man. Where I mean Michael Brooks not being able to protect his mother, and what happened to his lady, his wife. That give you honestly a psychotic break to the point where you're like, you know what? Screw this, man. Damn all this. No, nothing is getting done. Nothing is getting done. So me waiting is not going to help me. I'm going to take it upon myself to get the job done and get justice on my own, and take care of the people, especially when the people that has done bad towards you are still walking around freely. You know what I'm saying? Especially when it's the same people. Exactly my point. When you know it's the same people and they're walking around, with their chest out. They walking around with their chest out. Nothing can't touch me. Nothing. So you have to think about this right now and say to yourself, like, yo, man, I know this person is still moving around and I'm tired. I'm tired. No, forget all that. I'm about to take justice into my own hands and I'm going to crush those who live. There you go. Instead of Malcolm X mentality. That's Malcolm X mentality, Chuck. Okay. Well, I mean, hey, like I said, man, yeah, yeah. You're tired. You're tired and you want to take matters into your own hands. And that's simple as that. So I want to talk about the morality and justice and Phenom comics. I guess you could say we pretty much kind of touched on that. Um, I want to talk about whether or not, Night Reaper's uh vigilante justice is ethical or necessary. Is what he doing ethical or necessary? That's the question I want to ask you guys. Um, for him to go out there, because one thing to understand is Night Reaper, he does start out. It's not, he didn't, the thing about Night Reaper Origins is understanding this. He didn't start out just, whooping criminals' ass. Let me just keep it honest. He didn't just, no, he's getting rid of them. Understand that. He's getting rid of them, especially his first encounter with HK. Boy, I tell y'all, man, y'all just don't understand. It's something to that story. That part, like I said, I want to get to a point where I'm gonna actually start reading to you guys some parts of the book or the script, and what transpired with Night Reaper, Mike Brooks at the time in the Heartless Killers game. You know what I mean? And you know what I'm saying? Like I'm actually excited about reading that to you guys because it's some dark stuff, man. But it's great. Again, if you love that hardcore gritty, that deep dive in comics, you know, I promise you that you guys will not be disappointed. I promise you that. Again, great storytelling, great art, great character development is what makes a great story. You know, so there's that. You know what I mean? So, um, but yeah, man, just like honestly, I feel like That's exactly what's going to happen when it come down to these characters, man. So, dude, we not gonna hesitate, and honestly, we're not gonna be scared. We gonna do this unrelentless. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? We're gonna be ruthless with this. You know, this book, Night Reaper Origins, is a good read. I've tested it, you know, amongst a couple people to be sure. Because at the end of the day, me, I can take criticism. Because you know what criticism does for me? It motivates me. I can take criticism because it motivates me. It makes me want to be great. I'm not looking for people tell me, oh, no, that was good. Oh, that's raw. That's good. That's this, that. That's great. No, things like that. No, tell me it's shitty. Understand? You know what I'm saying? It's like me making a rap album. I know a lot of y'all, for those who listen to rap, you know what I mean? I listen to rap, but I'm more of an old school dude. I like to listen to more old school rap. You know what I mean? Because it actually had meaning back then. Nowadays, you can't you listen to rap. Let's be real, man. Just that's honestly just be real. Just hey, I'm not about to rap in front of you and you tell me, oh man, that was hard. And at the same time, oh man, that was shitty. No, tell me you can do better, bruh. Let it be known. You can do better, bruh. You can make things a hell of a lot easier for yourself. I'm not gonna put you out there and make you embarrass yourself thinking that this is great and it's not. It's simple as that. And that's just how I feel about it. So when it comes down to Night Reaper Origins is going to be one of those books. Again, if you cannot handle dark, deep stories that has your blood and gore, you know, bullets flying every damn where, Night Reaper isn't the book for you. If you can't handle that type of stuff, Night Reaper isn't the book for you. Simple as that. You know, Night Reaper Origins is not the book for you. And trust me, this is going to be something very epic. It's going to be something great. Again, you got great characters in this book. Great characters that's in this book. And characters, and then on top of that as well, you got some surprises that I think you guys will also enjoy too, you know, with this book of Night Reaper, you know. But yeah, man, but honestly though, and then I also want to talk to you guys about the moral codes of yeah, yeah, brain scattered and heart shattered. Huh? I like that. I like that, Pete. I like that. You know what I mean? But yeah, but no, I want to talk about the moral codes between it, where it's the difference between Michael Brooks and Detective Gamble. If you also don't know who Detective Gamble is, make sure you go into the back, the character breakdown of Night Reaper, and you go to Detective Gamble, you'll understand his backstory as well. I like to, okay, so the moral codes between Michael Brooks and Detective Gamble is this. Two individuals both believe in justice, but both men believe in a certain way of how to handle justice. Night Reaper, again, he's taken out these criminals. He's taken his vengeance out on these people just so he can get rid of these people from making the same, doing the same things that they've done to him. So he's taking these criminals out where obviously Detective Marcus Gamble believes in the law. He believes in, you know, take these cowards down, take these people, these individuals down and put them in jail. Let justice deal with them. Let our laws deal with these particular characters. Where as Night Reaper, again, going back to what I said, the justice system isn't helping. It's not helping. The same type of ethical thinking, the same way of thinking like the Punisher. He feel like at the end of the day, you take these individuals out, you ain't got to worry about them getting paid out from bond and things like that. And you ain't got to worry about these individuals being on the street the next damn day just to do the same thing over again. So you know what he believes? Take these fools out. take them out. You ain't got to worry about them again. And that's a fact. You know, you ain't got to worry about them again. And it's a simple thing where you can say about these certain stories where you like, you know what? I'm looking at this and I can be right there like, okay, you take out certain characters, you take out certain villains, certain, bad guys and things like that. There's no story anymore after that. That's true. But not really. You know, you can take these characters out and you be like, okay, it could have been easy for Batman to kill the Joker, especially if he was an exception compared to everyone else. When Joker is a complete psychopath. You know what I mean? Like that dude, he's messed up. You know what I mean? So of course they're gonna look at it like, this is how it's gonna be. This is the take certain characters out so they won't do the same thing because they're gonna do the same thing. Where in Night Reaper, it's a little bit different. It's a little bit different. So I want you all to understand that, where again, between the difference between Night Reaper and Detective Gamble is one believes in justice, believes in the laws, and exactly, there's always room for what if, right? But yeah, just honestly though, one believes in the law, let the criminals go down, let let our laws, our constitution take them down and out. Or Night Reaper is like, bump that. I'm about to handle these dudes right here. And we ain't got to go through all that. That's just a fact right there. So, so my thing is, what do you guys think? Is there any other questions you guys like to ask? Because I'm about to get ready to get off of this live, you know, and I did enjoy myself talking to you all. So if you have any other questions that you want to know, let me know now. Put it down in the live chat, put it in the comments so I can answer y'all questions and we can go from there. So I'm gonna give y'all a minute. So, but again, I may not do a live next week, just give or take, but most definitely be aware of that, for those who are following. Those who are also on my live right now, I do thank y'all very much, for especially for those who have participated into the live for us to discuss, you know, these characters. Uh, I appreciate it. I appreciate it, Chuck P, man. You eating dinner already, man? You eating dinner already, man? It's only 5 o'clock. You are an old man. I'm gonna tell you that. Hell, hey, man. I'm gonna try to be on next week, man. I'm gonna be trying to be on. Like I said, I'm not making no promises. I don't like making promises that I can't keep. I'm just gonna keep it 100 with y'all. But I definitely will. But best believe though, this is not gonna be the last one. But life happens, and we all know how this goes, man. So at the end of the day, hey, I pray that you all do have yourselves a good one. You know, enjoy yourselves. And again, I do appreciate those who did join the live today with me, you know, and heard and listened to what I had to say. And the live will be saved. So if you guys decide for anything you think you probably missed from the beginning, you can always go there again. On top of that, as well, you'll have some more character drops. I just dropped Maria Brooks' backstory today. Uh, Yeah, I'm ready to eat myself, man. I'm not even gonna lie to you, bro. I haven't ate anything myself, but y'all have yourselves a good one, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.